What's up, people on the interwebs? Hope you have an amazing day. So today I thought I'd discuss the process of the whole JLPT, because I recently took it back a couple months ago, and yesterday was the results of the test. So I thought I'd just talk about the whole process of taking the JLPT and all it was like, and my results. Did I pass or did I fail? You'll find out later. So I took the JLPT N5. So my Japanese is very basic at the moment. When I came to Japan, I practically had zero Japanese. I took a couple of lessons in London, so I knew like a tiny bit, but I basically came with zero Japanese. And I kind of thought this year, I thought to myself in the last sort of year, I thought I'm going to kind of tackle the Japanese a bit harder. I sort of had my fun in the first kind of 18 months of being here, of travelling and seeing Japan. I thought I'm going to try and kind of tackle the language a bit more. So put some effort into studying, and a great way to test your language ability is doing the JLPT. And especially if you ever want to stay in Japan long term, if you can get to N2 Japanese, then you're basically kind of fluent enough, or you've got enough Japanese to work in a Japanese company. So if you're ever thinking about wanting to work in Japan, you definitely need the JLPT N2. And man, this test is hard. You think it should be pretty straightforward, where it's like the test is in 3 sections. So the first test is vocab, so testing your kanji knowledge. Do you know how to spell the kanji in hiragana, and which hiragana kind of matches the right kanji. So a bit of vocab there. Also, they'll have a section where here is this word, which other words kind of match the same meaning. So really just kind of test your knowledge on words in general and which other words link to one another. So that's kind of the first section, which is vocab. Vocab for me personally is definitely one of my stronger sides. For whatever reason, kanji just clicks with me. I can look at it and be like, yep, I know what you are now. So kanji is all I've really got. The second section is reading and grammar. So this is obviously just testing out. They'll give you a reading passage and then some comprehension questions of, did you understand this text? Did you understand the question? Basically, did you understand this little bit of reading text right here? And then the other section is they'll give you some Japanese sentences, and they'll take out the kind of grammar particles, and then you need to decide out of 4 particles which is like the best particle to go in this gap. It's very similar to kind of using words like in, out, at, a, those kind of small detail words that kind of just link the sentence together, which is the best little grammar point to go there. And then the last section is listening. So they'll give you a few listening stories and scripts, and then you've got to circle what the story was talking about. A good example is on my test, one of the questions was oh, today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday. Wednesday's January 30th, and they go, happy birthday. And it's no, my birthday is tomorrow. And then the question's when is the boy's birthday? So stuff like that was the kind of questions. But that's basically the test of the JLPT. It's broken down into 3 sections. It doesn't test speaking, which I think is very interesting. I personally think all language exams should test speaking. Granted, I think if they do test speaking, I would probably fail, because my speaking is definitely the worst out of all 3. I really struggle with the word order in which way the sentence should go. But they don't test it. They just go as long as you can read it, understand the kanji, and listen to Japanese. That's all you need for a Japanese company. That's all you need. You don't need to speak. You just need to understand the tasks that are given to you. That's it. So yeah, they only test those 3 sections, and it's all multiple choice, which is very nice. So it's all ABC. You don't have to write anything. You just have to hope the gods are on your side when it comes to multiple choice and you guess the right boxes. So that's just the kind of whole layout of the test itself. The whole process of taking this test is a whole another story itself. If it's probably been the most micromanaged test I have ever taken in my life, or they are just really strict over small details. And a part of me thinks, this is wild, why do we need to do this? But a part of me is also like, you kind of do need to do this because they've got some idiots taking the test. Like, my whole taking the test process was absolutely wild. So let's start the story of the day. So when you're taking this test, you have to go apply online. You have to go to the JLPT website, mark which grade you want to take, which prefecture you're going to take it, and then pay some money. And that's basically it. Then you're just going to study. So then on the day, about a week before, I got this orange slip come to me with my lovely face and then the day and time of where the test is. So I have to go to the big city of my town. I have to go to Matsuyama in Ehime. So I go there. I have to go to the university because that's where they're taking the test. And then I come in, go to my room, give the lady my orange slip. They're kind of checking face and my face is matching, so it's not someone else taking the test. I'm sitting down, and then what you have to do is all of your kind of tech devices, mainly phones, you need to put your phone in this brown paper envelope, seal it shut, make sure you turn your phone off. This is advice in general for all exams. Don't be a muppet and keep your phone on, just turn it off. You know, you can survive 2 hours without your phone on, and you probably will have some muppet that will try to either phone you, send you a meme, send you reels, send you something on TikTok. You know, just turn your phone off completely. Don't put it on silence. Just don't risk it. Just turn your phone off. If you ever take an exam, just turn it off. But for this exam, we had to seal our phones in a paper bag. We had to stick it under our chair, under our desk. You know, we could not touch this envelope. It had to stay put. Do not touch it. And all the people who are moderating the exams, they are in proper suits. They have really come dressed to impress. Like, you think we were taking some like top secret spy test for how well they are dressed. Maybe when it comes to more like N2 and N1, then you can probably feel them more like they need to be this serious, because once you've got that certificate, you can basically work in Japan. You've basically got a shoe in that you should be able to apply to any job with somewhat ease. So maybe for the higher ones, it gets a bit more serious. But for N5, you know, this is me just doing basic Japanese knowledge. You know, you passing N5, it means you've kind of got middle level of an elementary school child. So, you know, you're still very basic, but you kind of got enough Japanese to just kind of get around. But anyway, we'll come in, they're all dressed to impress. When I said the exam's broken up into 3 sections, you're actually getting 3 different exam papers. It's not just one big booklet, it's broken up. So you get 3 different books through the exam. So the first one is vocab. They kind of come in, give you the exam, but before the exam, they're sort of saying in Japanese, you know, make sure your phone's off, make sure you're listening, pay attention to us, blah, 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 blah. And the biggest thing is that it's like they're also referees in a football match, because they have 2 cards. I don't have any cards on me, so I'm going to use these as examples. So they have pretend this is a yellow card. So they have a yellow card and they have a red card. So if you are doing anything slightly naughty, and you shouldn't be doing it in a test, they will give you a yellow card. So a yellow card could be you open the book like a millisecond too early, or you're still kind of writing even when the time's done. You know, doing a small little mistake, it won't penalise you, but it's like, hold on, the test is over, or the test hasn't started yet. You can't do that. So it'll be like yellow card. And then if you get 2 yellow cards, that equals 1 red card. And if you get a red card, that's it. You're out. You're being kicked out of this exam. Now, for the red card ones, that's basically cheating. And if your phone goes off in the exam, and that is the biggest thing. If your phone goes off, that's out. You're out of here. So really make sure your phone are off. So really, guys, if you ever do take this exam, or just an exam in general, make sure that phone is off, because that is an automatic red card. They're going to kick you out. So make sure, don't do it in general. So I'm going through my exam in general. No problems, all good. But man, this year was like, they had so many people get yellow cards, red cards. People were getting kicked out of the exam like anything. So during my exam, during the reading section, some person's phone went off and bam, automatic red card. The guy was trying to argue it after the exam because in the waiting bit, he was really fighting with the kind of people who were moderating it. And they were like, nah, man, your phone went out. Get out of here. You are gone. He actually went with like a couple of friends as well because all of his friends were kind of like giggling and laughing that he got kicked out. But yeah, I think for me, when taking an exam, you've got to take it serious. But the amount of people that were there laughing, joking, kind of just being a bit stupid, in my opinion, was absolutely insane. And I don't know if people were just taking the exam not seriously at all, because this year, when the exam was taken in December, they've had probably the biggest amount of people either getting yellow or red cards. You know, everyone I knew who took the exam, every kind of room had a story of someone either getting yellow or red carded. My friend had a yellow card because someone in their room, they opened the exam paper a little bit too early. I heard of another friend, they thought in the break that they could look at their phone, so they kind of ripped it open, the envelope, and just because of them doing that, they got red carded. Like, you cannot open that envelope till the exam is completely over. So they got red carded. There's also another story of someone, there was like a rumor in one of the rooms that someone didn't put all of their phones in the envelope. This person had 2 phones, so they went on like a bit of a witch hunt in the exam, and their friend kind of got kicked out because their envelope had like a slight tear in it. And just because of that slight tear, it wasn't even like a big enough tear to look like you can get into your bag, but just because there was a slight rip on the bag, that guy got red carded and he got kicked out of the exam. So they were really strict this year. So if you ever do take it, especially in Japan, make sure you follow those rules to a T. Put that phone in that envelope, make sure it's off, and just don't even touch that envelope. Just leave it till the exam's over, because it's not worth it for this test, especially that it's every 6 months. And if you're taking the higher one, you don't want to wait another 6 months. You know, it'd be very mendoxai, so very painful. So just don't do it. So yeah, the actual whole process of the exam itself is just a wild experience. And personally, for me, I think when I took it, I hopefully did too bad. So the day before the exam as well, what I did to kind of just hope for all the best luck I can get is I went to my local shrine and I paid 700 yen for a kind of education, pass my exam talisman. So I went to my local shrine, threw in my yens, made a little wish to be like, please let me pass the JLPT. And then I took this with me in the exam. I stuck it on my bag. So I prayed to all the gods in the hope of, come on, let me pass my exam. Let me hope for the best. And with the results coming out yesterday, guys, I passed. So yeah, I passed. I have got N5 Japanese. I have the Japanese of a 7-year-old, or at least in education wise, I should have the Japanese knowledge of a 7-year-old child. So yes, I passed, but I'll be honest guys, I barely just passed. Like, I scraped a pass. And for me, when I took the exam, so the vocab was really good. I smashed that because kanji is all I have to this language. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And the listening was fine. That was a solid B effort. You know, I passed, I hear Japanese every day, so I've got enough to kind of coast by, or like understand the gist of what is going on. But for me, for just passing this exam, I absolutely tanked the reading section. I knew when I was there that this was going to be the worst part of my exam, because for me, I just didn't have enough time. I needed more time for the reading. And for the last question, for the N5, it's always like a picture or like a little leaflet. And the leaflet, there's always like a trick to the leaflet. There's something that's like really obvious. And then there's one thing, if you don't catch it, you won't get the trick of the question. And I was looking at this leaflet for like ages, and I was like, "Where's meant to be a trick? Where is this trick? I cannot find it for the life of me." So when I came out of the exam, I did not feel confident like the reading section was good enough. But I think what happened was, what surprised me, I smashed the grammar section. So I kind of clicked what is the right particles to go where in a Japanese sentence. Everything else for the exam, vocab, listening, grammar, was really high, but reading, tanked the reading super bad. And because I scored really high in the other sections, it brought the overall grade to a pass mark. So thankful I have enough Japanese in those other areas. And for me, for what that has shown for the exam, is for the next one, I've got to spend more time on reading, because that's definitely my weakest section. And I'm also praying to the gods, because that this was a well spent 700 yen to just give me that pass mark. I do really recommend, if you're ever going to take a language, guys, take the test, because I think, one, it's a great motivation to keep studying. It definitely kicked me into gear a lot more to study, and it's great if you can pass it. You know, you start showing you've got some language level abilities. Like, it's quite nice to go, I have a little bit of Japanese, I have some Nihongo. And from what I also discovered, with just having N5 now, if I ever decided I want to do a bit of studying in Japan, maybe go to university again, maybe go do a master's or something, I can study in Japan now, because a lot of universities want you to have a minimum of N5 Japanese. So that's just quite a nice extra option I can do in life now if I want to. But yeah, that's just kind of my whole experience of taking the JLPT. Very happy I passed, even though I just passed it. But, you know, a pass is a pass in my book. Doesn't matter what school you get. Anyone who looks at it, they're just going to go, yep, they've got it. That's enough in life. So in some ways, if you're going to pass, make sure you just get it through the skin of your teeth. But yep, I passed it. That was my process of the exam itself. I am going to try and take N4 in the summer. So hopefully by, I think August is when the results come out for the next one. Or maybe September, I'm not too sure. But hopefully by the end of this year, I at least have basic foundation level of Japanese. Because if I pass the N4, I then have passed elementary of a Japanese child in Japan. So I will then have a Japanese of a 12-year-old. So progress is always on the move. But yeah, that's just my experience of the JLPT. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If there's anything else you want to know, see anything about Japan in general, or just life in general, just put a comment down below and let's have a conversation. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.